Can you say hi to the camera? Can you look right here and say hi? I know you're tired, you want food. Okay. What is up, YouTube world? Ew, I haven't said that in so long. Wasn't my last video like in 2022? I was gonna do my yearly Christmas haul, but I didn't do it I think last year, so I think I accidentally like fucked it up last year. If my voice sounds weird, I am technically not sick anymore. I have asthma when I get sick, and I have asthma in general, but then when I get sick, it gets worse. So I'm kind of just trying to get rid of that at the moment. So it's just asthma at this point. But yeah. So let's explain what happened a year ago, because I feel like that's something that should be explained, because there's a lot of people who I feel like I need to apologize to. Not like apologize, but just like tell my side, because a lot of people are seeing it from a point of like, okay, I was being impulsive and not giving a fuck, which I mean I was, but it has a lot more to do with mental health related stuff and stuff that I feel like I just need to explain. So if you don't know what happened a year ago when I turned 18, which by the way I'm 19 now, a year ago when I turned 18, I had a birthday party at a hotel with two friends who I am currently no longer friends with. That is another story in its own. Obviously I would have to change names and everything because I don't want those people like coming after me for like legal reasons. So I would change names. If you want to hear that story, let me know, because it's actually a very interesting story. It literally was chaotic it was like a chaotic 24 hours, even past that, because it was like a 24-hour thing. But yeah, it happened the day after my birthday, so I was already 18, so it was well over a year ago at this point. But for this, what happened a year ago, and I did make videos while this was happening. I think I made only like really one video while this was happening, but I just kind of want to explain what happened. So the party happened and everything, and I come back the 27th of February, and I am hungover. I'm hungover, like extremely. I'm just like, I felt so sick. Like, I've never drinking so much before. Okay, I didn't really drink that much. I've never drinking before in my life. Like, I don't even think I really had like a full-on sip of alcohol. If anything, it was like not even a sip of alcohol. It was like literally that much to where like I couldn't even taste it. Mainly because I did deal with epilepsy for like 4 years. So, I mean, kind of explainable, because if you have epilepsy and you drink, it's not necessarily the greatest combo. Like, you can have seizures and stuff. Plus, I'm not the type of person to drink. If I'm going to be drinking anything, it's going to be like, my family call it frou-frou drinks. It's because it's like you can't taste the alcohol. There's not much alcohol in it, like Trulies or White Claws, or like pretty much any drink that's similar to those two things. So pretty much, party happens 26th. I come home the 27th. I'm not feeling good. First time being hungover. And then the 28th comes around, and that was Monday. Now, I had to go back to school that day, and I was still feeling extremely sick and just like not having it. Not to mention also too, before all of this happened, I had stuff happen like at the beginning of the school year where I was like, I don't want to be at this school anymore, and it's for more so personal reasons. I was going through a lot of stuff and I kind of never recovered from it, so kind of it was just building up over time, and so the build up over time kind of just led to this explosion of what happened last year. So the explosion I just wasn't going to school. I did not want to go to school. I was just done. I was done with the school at that time because I just didn't, mentally I was not the greatest when all of this, like I said, was going on. So I just was mentally I wasn't myself. I don't, this part's kind of hard to explain, this little part, because I got into an argument with my dad, and I kind of was just like, well, I'm 18, I technically don't have to be in school anymore. And he's just like, okay, whatever. So with that, I ended up dropping out of the school that I was going to. And I was not, for the entire month of March and for the entire month of April, I was not in school. like, at all. Like, I was not planning on going back at all. The only thing that was going to get me to go back at all, because I had already applied to colleges, but I didn't tell those colleges that I had decided to drop out. So I was still getting emails from colleges being like, oh, this is like our decision. So my principal at the time, I'm not, he's okay. My principal at the time, he had told me that I could get into any school that I wanted to get into. Probably should have told someone who has a really bad GPA and not the greatest of grades from the past 4 years. Not something you should probably tell someone. So my dream school still is and probably will always be UCLA just because of just like, I can't even explain why. It just is. Because, it's just, for the longest time I've known that's where I wanted to go for college, if I ever go to college, which I will at some point. I just don't know when yet. But for me, I'm just kind of like, okay. So I drop out, and I'm like, okay, well, I need to get a job, because my dad is being stubborn. So my dad and I had gotten into a really big argument. That's why I dropped out. And the only reason why I was going to go back to that school is if I got into UCLA. Now, keep that in mind, because that comes up again in a little bit. So, I'm applying to places, and no one is accepting me. And then, kind of around this time last year, is when I got an interview at Hot Topic. And, sorry, I'm like still, like I said, still recovering. So, I got an interview for Hot Topic, and it took them so long to get back to me, honestly. And the people really liked me. Funny enough, the assistant manager, a lot of people told me she wanted to hire me on the spot. Like, when I left after my interview, she was telling everyone how much she wanted to hire me on the spot. And she said it was about a 2-week wait to hear back. And I was like, okay, cool. So I call, like, the day, like, before the 2 weeks are over, because she said I can call and ask. And I call the day before, or either the day of or the day before the 2-week mark. And so I'm like, hey, I was just curious if I got the job or not. And she's like, we're still making decisions, we're still interviewing a couple people, and we'll let you know our decision this coming week. And I was like, okay, cool. So I literally the next day get the phone call of, okay, yeah, no, you're hired. So I had my first day at Hot Topic on April 1st. That was random. But yeah, no, I had my first day on April 1st. I had a great time, obviously. So, go in, all that shit. But in the meantime of me working at Hot Topic, I'm still dealing with stuff with school. Because according to my parents, the people on the admin team were actually emailing my family, more so than just my parents, and were like, is there any way you can change her mind? Because I'm 18, they can't say no. So it's just like, they're like, is there any way you can change her mind? Like, we want her to come back. And my principal at this point in time, he was actually on paternity leave. So he did not know, I think, for a little bit that I was gone. So, and reason why is because we have a mentor system at my school. And so he became my mentor that year because my mentor that I had, she left. And so I had him as my mentor for my senior year. But yeah, so this whole situation is so stupid. Looking back on it, and I was like, I'm looking at myself and I'm like, why did I do that? But in the meantime of me working at Hot Topic, like, I think the couple days after the interview, I got in an email from UCLA about their decision. And I told myself, if I get into UCLA, I will go back. That is the only reason why I'll go back. Because I will want to finish to go to that school. So, and reminder, I'm mentally unstable at this point in time still. So, I open up the email, and it says to log in to the admission stuff. So I log in, and I look, and it says that I was denied. So clearly, seeing that I was denied, and then remembering what my principal had said of like I can get into any school that I want to, I got very mad because I was also very mentally, like I said, very mentally unstable. Plus mad, not a great combination. So I had said stuff on my private Instagram about the school and about the principal and all this stuff, and I know I offended a lot of people with that. But like I said, mentally unstable plus angry equals a not great outcome, and things that I will at the time didn't regret, but then later did regret. And that's not how I felt. That's not how I feel now. How I feel now, I'm just kind of like, okay, but like looking back on it, obviously, I'm just like, that was really stupid. I don't know why I went onto the internet and said stuff about the school and about the principal and about most of the admin. So I said that stuff, and at the time didn't regret it. And some time goes by. I'm working on a topic, and I would say, I don't know specifically the date, but sorry, sometime in April. It was like towards the end of April. There is an account that was made by one of my friends who goes to that school still. Rest in peace, because they're closing it this year after the graduating class graduates. One of my friends slash like, I was a TA the senior year, so I was like kind of my student in a way, in a weird way. It's like my student slash friend. He he made an account called We Want Stephanie Wolf Back. And come to find out, there was a lot of people that wanted me to come back. And I was just like, okay. I was like looking at it and I was like, huh. I was like, maybe I should go back. Because there was also this like voice in the back of my head that was like, you made the wrong decision. You shouldn't have done that. And I'm like thinking to myself, trying to ignore the voice being like, I did make a good decision. And one. I was trying to tell myself I made a good decision. And that voice was just nagging at me. Come to find out that it's like, you know, my intuition. My intuition's always right. And I should listen to it more. But yeah, so I saw this account and all these people were telling me to come back, and also on the account they were telling me to come back, and I'm like, I really thought about it. And then so I emailed one of the people that are on the admin team that I didn't shit talk, and I was like, hey, is there a way for me to come back, because it was like less than 2 months till graduation. And I was like, okay. And then also too, I was like, okay, well, if I go back now, I could possibly go to prom and all that stuff. So I'm over here like, okay, let's just see what happens. So I emailed the one of the people on admin, and I was like, hey, is there any way I can come back? If there is, I know I'll have to work extremely hard to graduate, and that's what I'm willing to do to come back. And so he emails me back, and he's like, yes, we will accept you back. He's like, yeah, we'll accept you back, and yes, you'll have to work hard to finish. And I said, okay, bet. So I went back 6 weeks before graduation, and I told myself I'm actually going to give myself 5 weeks to finish. So I had 5 weeks to finish my work, because I was forcing myself to finish that Friday before graduation. Because we graduated on a Thursday, and we had to be complete, all of our work had to be complete on that Wednesday before graduation, so that day before. So I wanted to finish the Friday before. And so I busted my butt. I worked with all my teachers. Funny enough, the first one I got done first was math. Finished all of my work by that Friday. And to have that kind of personal goal that I set for myself complete was really good feeling. I felt accomplished to have that happen. And then I kind of just, that last week was just able to chill, but I worked hard. And in the process, I learned, obviously, that there was people that were mad at me for what I said online a couple months earlier. And I wanted to say something about it, but I was like, I'm not going to give those people that validation. That's not what I'm trying to do now. What I'm trying to do is explain my side and kind of just like show what I was going through, because what I was going through was not the greatest. I'm still kind of going through it. Kinda. Not fully like I was last year, but it's kind of starting to come back. That place that I was in last year, like this time last year, it's kind of trying to come back, and I'm trying my best to not ignore it, but like get help and do my own, at home stuff for it. Oh my god, scared the hell out of me. Something fell over there. But I'm trying to get better right now and not be how I was last year, because last year was just a catastrophe, because I was also having major stuff going on at home, which was not the greatest, not only with my dad, but with other stuff going on, which I'm not going to put on the internet because that's too personal. But I found out that people at my school were not very happy with me, and I get it. You have every right to be mad at me, because you probably love going to that school, or, okay, revise. You probably like going to the school, like, you don't have, like, too many full-on issues. I'm not going to speak for everyone, because that's obviously everyone has their own opinion. Sorry. But I do feel bad for what I said. And I, obviously, the people who I talk shit about on the admin team, I apologize to. I was like, that's not how I feel now. I explained it to them that I was not doing good at the time mentally, and that I said things I regret, which I still regret. And I wish I could go back in time to myself a year ago today and just tell myself, like, hey, you're making a really stupid decision and you're gonna say some really stupid things that you're gonna regret. Don't do it. Like, go back, because I think at this point I had dropped out already. I'm like, I just wish I could tell myself, go back, just push through. You're almost done, and just finish. Because the minute I had that diploma in my hand, knowing that I was done and I didn't have to worry about high school anymore, it felt like such a relief. But I just wish I could go back and tell myself that you're gonna feel a crap ton of relief. And obviously that's not possible, and I can't change what I did in the past. Obviously we all wish we could, but here we are, a year later, and I am a lot better than I was a year ago. And I obviously do apologize to the people on the admin team who I said that stuff about. Okay, everyone except for one person, because there's one person that still works there that I have beef with. If you know who she is, her name starts with Miss W. It's Miss W. We're gonna just say that. Her name starts with W. So, if you know, you know. But, it's just a whole thing that I kind of just want to forget, and I wanted to explain it, because I want to explain my side, because I feel like my side has been twisted in a way to where I accidentally made myself sound like the villain, So, I hope all of this makes sense. But, yeah. I'm so happy that part of my life is over, because I'm actually going to be starting a new chapter of my life where I am actually going to be moving, hopefully soon. So in a year from now, I most likely, hopefully, won't be in this house that I am in now. I will be in a different house, in a different area, way different area, like hours away area. But I am super excited to start a new chapter of my life. And I can't wait to see what the future holds in store for me, and obviously all my friends. And I'm super sad to see my school close, actually. For those of you that don't know, my school's closing this year. And I'm super sad to see it go, honestly, because I did want to continue to visit at some point, and seeing how as I am moving, I most likely won't be able to go to the graduation this year, because I do have friends who are younger than me that are graduating. But yeah, I'm super sad to see the school go, because it is a decent school, like, bullying wise. The only true reason why my parents put me in that school was because of the bullying thing, and I didn't get bullied while I was there, so. Hi. I'm filming.
I was like, you're talking a lot.
Yeah.
I just went ice skating with you.
Oh, cool. But yeah, I'm gonna end it there because I have nothing else to really say. But I will see you guys in the next video. I'm going to try to post once a month. But coming up with all the stuff I have going on, that's probably a bit impossible. But I'm going to try once a month. I'm not going to give a specific day because that can be literally whenever. But I will see you guys in the next video. So, bye-bye for now.